You have a new DTF RIP, very specific for people who are in the DTF business. Can you tell me a little bit about it and what's different about it than just using a standard Caldera RIP? You have great RIPs.
Yeah, I think that's a great point on what's different. I would say the biggest thing, number one, if you know Caldera, is that it runs on Windows.
Right.
So our DTF RIP runs on all three platforms, Linux, Mac, and Windows officially. So I think that's huge. We also, with our DTF RIP, it's very user-friendly versus our sign and graphic. It's definitely user-friendly, but it's geared to that market where you need every button and every control. The DTF user experience is very simplified for getting those transfers out on top of the printer.
All right, so whereas traditional Caldera runs on Mac or Linux, this will run on Windows, Mac, whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Correct.
Okay, that's really
multi-platform.
Nice. Multi-platform. Also, I find with the DTF people that they're new to this. Like DTF took like a whole part of America by storm that normally aren't printers. And they're like, you mean I don't just print out of Photoshop or something? There's like, what's a RIP? So we did the what's a RIP thing all over again, like years after we kind of figured it out. And some of the RIPs that they've been working with, let's put it this way. I'm looking at the results of their products. They mean well. They think the issue is film or the shaker. And I'm like, no, it's in your file and it's in your RIP. Mm-hmm. Your color work, the way you support white, is incorrect and it's working against you. Did you at Caldera find that too?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been working with DTG and DTF now for maybe 6 or 7 years, so we have a ton of technology on the back end of the RIP, right? That customers don't even necessarily see, but it allows us to have amazing white generation, so you get really nice hand feel and fade into garments.
Okay.
So all that's really native inside of this new platform.
Yeah, the thing I always loved about, especially Caldera Color, is if you use your little wizard, just following what it suggests, the results are excellent, right? It makes me look like a real color guru, and all I really did is said next, next, next. I'm like, why should I disagree?
Right.
The people that put this together are a lot better at this than I am. And I think you lent that experience to the DTF market in a way, at least from what I've seen of it, where they can just walk through almost like a wizard system that's real easy, that then does the things that color experts would just know to apply. Does that seem fair?
Absolutely, yeah. The color management engine is still amazing. It's a wizard-based still, so building all those processes is very streamlined. It's easy for our customers to do. But with DTF, a lot of our end users actually get pre-built color profiles from their partners.
Sure.
So a lot of these entry-level DTF shops are not necessarily building color profiles.
No,
but all the higher-end ones, absolutely. And the higher-end ones are really loving the color management and the spot color abilities as well.
Are there any automation processes that are kind of built into it?
Yeah, so customers that are utilizing Prime Center can automate their workflow with the DTF RIP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it carries over quite nicely, and then there will be more automation coming in Q1 of next year.
I'm assuming you basically take all the main file formats, like whatever they are, they drop in.
Exactly. So PNG, the classic, and then PDFs, all that good stuff, natively supported inside of Caldera Direct-to-Film.
All right. You may have touched on this a little bit, but I would always expect one of the things Caldera does, especially with a RIP that's directed to people that may not have a lot of experience, is you're going to build a lot of templates. Right? You're going to have things where they're like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. And we're like, hey, we got this. Just do the template system, which is what I will always do. If the template works, there's no reason to fix it.
Yeah, and that's the best part with DTF, right? You don't need a million different profiles. Most customers will find that one profile that works with their film and their ink, and they run with it.
Okay.
So those partners are able to deliver that, and then we embed it and package it with the RIP solution. So getting up to speed is extremely quick. It's basic installation, connecting your printer driver, and then there's even onboarding guides that will walk you through how to use those presets that have been preloaded.
You mentioned it. I wanted to go a little more on it. The knockout tools. Mm-hmm. Knockout is one of the main things that, for people new to this, is yours really easy to use? I mean, does it make it simple? I usually use my wife, actually, as sort of like, can Eileen figure it out? And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's really good, because most of our customers are going to buy this, are a nice lady or gentleman who buys it and puts it in their home, has a garage business, and says, "Hey, I'm going to sell DTF on Etsy." Never seen a RIP before. So, is the knockout tools, would they lend themselves well to somebody who's very inexperienced?
Yeah, it's literally an eyedropper. So you select the eyedropper of the color. You can set a tolerance if you want to grab more of that range of the color, and then it knocks out the color and goes into the garment. So it's extremely easy to.
Good, because I get a feeling a lot of the people doing this aren't necessarily even Photoshop pros.
Yeah, with the direct-to-film, the goal is to not even have to use Photoshop at all.
Really?
It has all the tools built in where you shouldn't have to do that.
So people just
Color
give you files, you
adjustments,
can bring them in and then use, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Like, because you're going to get all these oddball files and you can just handle it right in the Caldera RIP.
And you don't have to mess with the integrity by opening it up in Photoshop and changing the color space that your customer gave you on accident.
Very good. Printer compatibility. How many DTF printers are there? Like 1,000?
Yeah, how many different names are there?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's talk about at least the ones that are more widely recognized. I'm assuming you guys have very high printer compatibility for most of the products people are going to use.
Yeah, absolutely. All the ones that have been around the market for quite some time, of course. M&R, Roland, Mamaki, every blue chip out there right now, Epson, we support. So I would say that there is hard to find a DTF printer that our RIP does not support.
You guys have been very, very busy.
We've been very busy.
We've had to chase people, like it took a lot to get this little space carved out.
Yeah, there were a lot of people. It was really exciting. I mean, a lot of people came from all over the U.S., international customers also. So I think it was, a very dynamic show.
You have an international customer base. I mean, you have a huge global presence in what you do.
Exactly. So we're an international company. We have like a global staff speaking multiple languages because now it's just a global market. We're headquartered in Europe, headquartered in France, but we have a very strong American team.
Yes, you do.
And strong American presence, and I think that's really important for us. Think global but act local. It's never been such an important thing to do, and these are the people facing the customers, so we want to make sure that our customers are successful. They know who they're talking to, and talking to someone that they know and they trust and helps them on their day-to-day printing and cutting.
I went on your site to prepare for this, and the first thing I noticed is, I know Grand RIP. That's what I've used for years, right? Great product. A lot of the guys at the HP facility, they all love the Grand RIP. But there's other RIPs. There's Visual RIP. There's Caldera RIP. I'm like, you know what? I need to have a meeting for you guys to explain some of these because, I have to explain them and ask questions. And you said, well, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, I have to worry about it. I have to prepare. And you said, no, it's all going to change at Printing United. We're going to announce a restructuring. We're going to reorganize things a bit. So what did you reorganize? How were they?
It's a good point.
RIPs, how do the RIPs organize? Because I understand the DTF. That's clear. I understand Prime Center. That's clear. How do the RIPs structure? Because that's what you built ultimately. You're known for your fantastic color software.
Right. So I think that's something that we decided, just to simplify the portfolio. Everybody knows this as Caldera. And the Caldera RIP without going into too much details of which model is it? Is it Grand RIP? Is it Visual? So we came to the show, we said we're going to simplify everything. So we have everything under Caldera RIP.
Okay, Caldera RIP.
Which simplifies, Prime Center being not a RIP. It sits above the RIP. So everything now is Caldera RIP. There are two types. One is the perpetual licensing and one is the subscription licensing. And then within there are 3 tiers. Keep it simple. And the tiers are based on printer categories. So there's going to be, for example, subscription. You're going to have Essentials, Pro, and Max. Max, of course, is for a big printer that does flatbed. And then Essentials is for the guys that want to have a smaller printer. They're doing aqueous, they're doing stickers, and that just keeps it simple.
Okay, so you have subscription, which some people favor. Then you have perpetual, which I own it, and I upgrade as I go along.
Right.
That's your first decision points. Those are very good. And then you have the different tiers within. Is it the same tiers within each one, both perpetual and subscription?
More or less.
Okay.
Yeah, we have perpetual for, like I said, smaller printer types, and then larger printer types will be the 3rd tier.
Okay.
And it's just that simple. We just put every feature in all the tiers.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay, that's cool.
Everybody gets the Max, and then it's just based on your printer types because, smaller companies have smaller printers doing smaller applications like stickers. They don't have the high volume that others are looking for. So just keep it simple, make it accessible, and scalable.
Right.
So you can scale as you add printers and as you grow your print shop, starting with stickers on a small aqueous, and then you go to flatbed and you have a flatbed cutter, we can help you scale that.
They don't want to be buying, hey, I want to get this, I can only afford this, I'm a small printer, but I need to have that, and I'm carrying this thing that's really designed more for people doing big flatbed printers. And so you just bring them up over time with a very elegantly designed structure.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's check boxes just to understand, hey, do I have automation? Do I have color? Can I profile? Yes, you can do
Yes,
all
you
that.
can do all that.
Just
Yes.
look at the
Right. It's
product.
all in there.
Right, just look at the sheet and you see there's check boxes all over the place and it just keeps it simple.
I love Prime Center. I see an enormous amount of value for anybody in the industry. Okay, it's universal. Are there advantages with your RIPs and your Prime Center? I'm assuming there's unique handshake advantages because just simply they're so well synced.
Right. Well, there are, of course, I mean, pairing them together, but I think it's important to say that Prime Center works with every RIP.
Right.
More than 50% of our customers do not have Caldera RIP, so it's not something that's mandatory. You can use it, and you can even use it without a RIP, and we have very happy customers using with other RIPs.
Thank you for letting me look at your whole portfolio the way you have. It's a great product. In my opinion, that's absolutely magnificent. It deserves to be heard and heard clearly, and it is called Prime Center. You're the expert. What is the core function of Prime Center, and why would somebody want to have it?
Yeah, there's a lot of functionality of Prime Center, but at the bare bones, it's really about pre-press and automation and getting print-ready layouts before the RIP.
Okay.
So allowing the operators to focus on printing, ripping jobs versus pre-press preparing the jobs.
If I look at Prime Center and I own Onyx or Flexi or EFI or some other RIP, why should I be listing this? I don't have Caldera.
Well, Prime Center is RIP agnostic.
There we go.
Yeah, so it actually generates a print-ready PDF and then a cut file that works with pretty much every flatbed cutter on the market. And we also now support Suma plotters as well.
Yeah, cool. I think that's really important because what you built is a complete a new vision of the order of printing, and you have some incredibly smart people that put this together. And they explained it, I went, I can't believe nobody has thought of this. Like you guys said, let the RIP do the RIP thing.
Right.
It's mostly just color.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to take all those other pieces that got thrown together over the years, and we're going to completely restructure it, but put it at the front end.
You're exactly right.
And it doesn't matter what RIP you use, and this would always be your fundamental interaction, and then the file just goes to the RIP and goes, oh, I handle color.
Yeah, and that's the best part. I mean, a lot of our customers, I mean, even if they only have one RIP that isn't Caldera, that's fine, but we also see a lot of customers that have multiple RIP platforms.
Yeah.
And Prime Center can normalize the pre-press functionality for all of their RIPs. Whatever comes in the box is usually what they go with.
Yeah, they'll be using Momaki for these printers, and they'll be using Onyx for this, and Caldera for these fabric printers.
Right.
And, yeah, that's common.
Yeah, they have the canned profiles that came with the devices, so they can run with those. Maybe they don't want to build new color profiles, but they still need to improve their pre-press workflow.
Okay,
So
cool.
Prime Center is a great fit for that.
Excellent. So nesting, especially true shape nesting. I think one of the things that a lot of my customers want is, I want to take an image and I want something smarter than me to put it together and put it on the page without me having to go through and figure out how that works. I'm assuming it does that very well.
Yeah, it does it really well. Not only can we do the contour nesting and we rotate it down to a single degree to really squeeze things in, but with our nesting algorithm, we can also control the batching and the sorting. So not only are you able to do these really nice layouts with excellent media savings, but they also make sense whenever they come off the printer and they come off the cutter. So they're not playing 52 card pickup at the end of the day.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Very good. I had a guy, shop owner, said to me, hey, my graphic designer, we had to let him go. And I said, why'd you let him go? He said, because he couldn't identify files that were lower res in time, and we would print them all and we go to install them and they're all pixelated. I said, well, and I thought of this, I thought, wait a minute, if this guy had Prime Center, he could have dropped that file in and Prime Center would have went, not at that size.
Exactly.
So it does like file intelligence and image intelligence and applies all that so that your people, and it's really easy to miss that. It's missed everywhere. I'm in the trade show, I'm seeing it in booths.
Right, it's scary. Yeah, it's scary to see. Yeah, I mean, the way we're able to do that is we actually embed Callus PDF Toolbox technology inside of Prime Center, so every customer has access to that. But with that technology, not only are we able to apply manipulations to files, but we're able to check files as well.
Okay.
So whether it's resolution, which is blatantly obvious, but also like overprinting, which that one is usually missed until the customer gets it in most cases.
What is parallel processing? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, that's a great one. So with parallel processing, what you're able to do is you're able to have maybe multiple scenarios. Maybe you're doing stickers and also yard signs. So with Prime Center, you're actually able to run multiple what we call recipes. They're presets.
Yeah.
All they are, right?
But almost everything everyone runs in the business is a preset.
Right.
I want somebody to build me presets because I'm busy, and I'm like, that of the 100 jobs I do, 10 of them I do over and over again, and that's when I need presets. And if somebody is more clever than me and can just say, this is how you lay out the coroplast or the stickers, I'll follow the recipe.
Yeah, I mean, we actually embed a number of templates inside Prime Center. So getting up and going day one, there's a number of templates that are there. Then we also have a dedicated success team for Prime Center. So we actually help customer build 3 to 4 recipes during their demo trial to make sure that they can really validate the software and see what it does.
When you introduce a new software, especially to a shop that's familiar with running this way, there's always resistance and there's always sort of a trepidation, or how long it's going to take me to learn this. And I find if it takes too long or it's too complicated, the minute you're gone, they bail on it and they go back to what they used to do and they say, that didn't work for me. Is this pretty intuitive to get results in key areas early, to where you almost go, oh, that feature, I'm going to use that right out of the gate because that saved me a ton of time. Thank you, Caldera.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. A lot of our customers do find that ROI sweet spot, like whether it's our double-sided nesting algorithm, because that's a huge pain point in pre-press, whether you're doing the weird hand thing to flip the double-sided to make sure you're mirroring it the right way on the back side. But whenever we're doing that demo phase, we're building those recipes with the customers. So as soon as we connect after that first hour, they have working examples.
Yeah.
So not only are they validating the software, but they're taking some work off their shoulders to go and play with it more and get their ROI day one.
Okay, so you feel that you could, get them to clearly identify real early, hey, that fixed this, that's good. I like this is good. Let's look at the other 10 features.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me a little bit also the way it handles I'm a barcode guy. I do everything in barcodes. That HP had this, barcode Suma thing, and I went, oh, that's dynamite. I'm never doing anything else again. And Zune had great barcode consent. So annotations and barcode structures, how does it handle it?
Yeah, so you really have 2 different sides of that. One is on the cutting side. So for each manufacturer that we support, whether it's Suma, Zune, or Kongsberg, we have unique barcoding systems for them. So as a cutter operator, you scan that code, the file is automatically imported,
Nice.
and materials and methods are associated. So there's not a bunch of questions for the operator on the cutter side either. They can really get it going by initializing the tools and start cutting the projects. There's also annotations for individual pieces within the nest. So if you want to identify something, which is very common for direct-to-film or DTF, so our direct-to-film customers are using the metadata from a file name and building a custom annotation tag underneath each transfer. So whenever it goes through the production process, it's a tear-off annotation. They go and marry it up with the garment. They can remove the tracker, put it on the garment, and they know exactly what garment and what image goes to where.
So this thing is a whole workflow tagging system all the way along.
Absolutely.
That if you know this, and everyone's familiar with it, they can use all kinds of different RIPs for other things. And then the RIP is just doing the color part. It just handles the color. And you guys have made it completely agnostic.
As long as it supports a PDF print file, you're good to go.
Yeah, PDF print files are pretty straightforward.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. Tell me about hot folders.
Yeah, so I love our hot folders. Everybody knows a hot folder. You drop a file in and it processes. That's really the bare bones. What Prime Center can do is actually it extracts metadata from the file naming convention. So at the very bottom of the pile, if you can add the number of copies to the file name, Prime Center can extract that out. So from your hot folder workflow, you don't actually have to do anything else other than submit that file.
Like just in the name, drop
underscore 10 or underscore whatever your value is, and keep the same pattern, and it will extract it every single time.
So what you did is, over decades of seeing patterns, you said there's all kinds of repetition. Let's just build this into straightforward script and algorithm, and then just make it really easy for somebody that, because a lot of the people running a production operation are often not that experienced. They kind of got thrown in there, and I think your software is it gives you this, this very experienced production guy in your shop who says, here, I'll just script all this for you, and this will all make sense, and all you have to do is drop files in.
Exactly, and I think that anyone that wants to do any type of automation, if you can control your naming convention, I think that's kind of the bare minimum. And Prime Center lets you take that and run with it. So no complex ERP, MIS integration day one.
Yeah.
But once you build those recipes with file naming convention, you can pass the XML information to your team, and then the next weeks you can start running an XML workflow with the same exact configuration you've already built.
Right. I know to a lot of you what he's saying about XML and all this seems like, you know, cryptic or arcane. Trust me, they make it so easy that like you don't need to understand it because they figured it all out. And once you do it, once you go through it, you go, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. That saves me time. That saves me aggravation.
Right.
It allows you to track your whole workflow.
Sure.
Are there scalable versions of this? Is it just one version, or are there different iterations depending on, you know, shops are different sizes? They need different levels of complexity.
Yeah, that's a great question. There's actually 3 versions of Prime Center. There's what we call Essentials, Pro, and Max.
Okay.
And they're really based on the levels of automation they bring. So Essentials is the more manual version where you can still benefit from all the print and cut benefits and nesting algorithms. And then the Pro and Max are when you segue into the automation features and really can become hands-off with your workflow capabilities. What's actually coming out right now is our new multi-layer feature with Prime Center.
Oh, I like multi-layer.
Yeah, so multi-layer with print and cut is extremely complex, and every RIP on the market has a very hard time of handling these layouts.
Yes.
So Prime Center is actually working with multi-page PDFs. It will nest those files, add all your registration marks for cutting, same as all the amazing nesting algorithm does today, but it's building that multi-layer configuration for the output.
Very nice.
And with the Caldera RIP version 19, metadata is embedded into that. So whenever you place it into a driver, it actually knows that your varnished white color or whatever crazy configuration is there is already embedded into the file, and it's a simple click of the button.
Cool. People struggle with and with white ink and clear and everything else and all these complex layers. A lot of people I find struggle. You know, they know what they want to make, but they don't know how to do it, and they want a little help. And it sounds like you guys are basically making that process very easy and intuitive. A lot of RIPs out there don't handle finishing, and finishing to me is huge because everyone can print, but now you still have to make it into something, and that requires your finishing, which has to be done at the file point prior to the RIP, really, to set that all in motion right. And you guys are so compatible with all these finishing equipment devices that whatever you have, yep, there it is, we have it, and it's handled right.